If a friend of yours would lie to you, hurt you, be unaccountable to you, you have common sense to let go of that relationship. Why do you tolerate it when dating? Don't let chemistry keep you in a bad relationship.
Having conflict in courtship does not necessarily mean the relationship has issue or something. No, it only shows that there's something that needs to be addressed. There is an issue that needs to be addressed, that needs to be given attention. So conflict does not necessarily mean that this is an unhealthy relationship. Allow for conflict. Let the other person be free to express their mind, be free to get angry, to get annoyed with whatever you do or you don't do. Do you understand? Let me tell you another thing. In courtship with somebody that is never disagreeing with you on anything, you may probably need to check out that relationship. You know why? Probably they are trying to lure you into marriage. Probably there's something they are trying to hide from you. Probably the person has health issue that they don't want you to know. Do you understand? Or there's something that the person is trying to hide.
The discourse around marriage has drastically declined from its previous state, primarily due to the disavowal of conventional gender norms by contemporary women. Currently, marriage is viewed as just another checkbox if it even enters the list at all, rather than as a holy connection based on commitment and shared values. Nowadays, women are more concerned with leading their best lives, achieving their own objectives, and placing a higher value on their independence than they do on any kind of relationship. The true issue lies in the fact that men are left out in the cold, witnessing as women who ought to be on par with them in creating a life together instead reject the basic elements that make relationships function. Men's discontent has grown as a result of women's resistance to accept femininity and follow social norms. Why would it not too? Women chose to completely rewrite the rules when males gave up control and relinquished their authority, rejecting conventional norms and leaving men with a confused array of expectations.
So after I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. And so we went through 3 months of like chicken, where I had no friends in Vegas, no family in Vegas. I just really blurted that out. I did not mean it. I had no intention. I had no job. I had nothing. I had no plans on moving to Vegas. I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me.
But who told you it's a good idea to put a mature man against the wall? Why would you want to go this far to get him to marry you? Even if you went on with it, would it be worth it? This is the worst strategy to get a man to marry you. It will never work with a man who knows himself.
For 3 months, he was like, do what you got to do. You want to move, move. So the last day I was putting my stuff in the car, he came over and helped me put my stuff in the car. And we putting stuff in the trunk, and I just started crying. I'm like, you really gonna let me leave? He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip.
The biggest problem with ultimatums is that if you give in to one, you'll just get more of them. This man was smart not to negotiate. An ultimatum reveals just how weak the position of the person issuing the ultimatum is. I love getting ultimatums because the opposition has just painted itself into a corner that which there is no escape from. When my husband and I were dating, I told him one time he had to get up. He sat up and said, the only things I have to do is breathe and die, then went back to sleep. Yeah, you can't make a strong man do anything. Exactly what I told my wife early on when we got into an argument, and she threatened to leave. I said, we both know where the door is. If you want to leave, just leave.
There wasn't a need for an ultimatum. The man in the video changed his mind and was ready to marry, but she didn't have to put him against the wall for it. Deliberately, he was willing to marry her on the next day. Let's have a look at what happened.
A red bean. Like I was saying, I think we should just stay friends, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not ready for a relationship. Like, you know, I'm just not ready for all that right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Damn. Crispy chicken. You say you cooked them? You did it? Cornbread. Cornbread. Cornbread too? This ain't Jip, this from scratch? Lord, shit. And you cook this like this all year round. It stays the same taste like this all year round. Well, I don't know, baby. Look. You mind if I take my Air Max off? Look, check this out. I'm gonna take my Air Max off for a couple of years because I've been thinking since I've been sitting here eating on this that you might be right. We might do need to get in a relationship because real talk, I've been hungry lately and these women I've been dealing with, they, you know, this is the taste I've been looking for. So, you want to get married tomorrow? You want to get married tomorrow? Because yeah, that look like that's what's finna happen. I don't want to be single no more. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go and get married tomorrow. And I'm going to bring my little TV and my little VCR that I got, my 4 pair of boxes that I got at the crib with mom and bring them on over here with you because look like this is my home. Look like I got a phone to have home.
Listen to this.
This is the taste I've been looking for. So, you want to get married tomorrow?
As you can see, it's easy to get a man to change his mind when it comes to marriage and relationships. Most of us are simple, and as soon as we find what we are looking for, we will be willing to go further. There isn't a need for an ultimatum. You cook like this all year round? This is how women got men and kept men. Not Victoria's Secret, just like this. Why she home cooking for a man that don't want her? We gon' get married tomorrow. He switched up real quick after the taste of love with the food. He sat down single and got up engaged. I've been looking for this taste is the best line. Facts, that's how I fell in love with my girl. Cook me some fire food on the set.
Today's women have strange fantasies of their own, unlike anything males were raised to expect. When it comes to courting and marriage, these women put their goals first, demand equality when it suits them, and frequently stray into non-traditional lifestyles that leave men unsure of their place in society. Is it any wonder that males are left scratching their brains, attempting to make sense of a society where norms are constantly shifting and roles are viewed as antiquated vestiges of the past?
You need to watch out for the red flags. Don't get married too fast. You want to go through at least enough seasons where you see how they handle pain.
Yes.
Their grandmother dies, how he handles that. Does that send him back to drinking and clubbing and being online flirting with other women? You need to see how she or he.
Now, this is a very important point that a lot of people really don't listen to. And I get it. When you're really into somebody and you're ready to just make that leap, it seems like the right thing to do right away. But it is true that people are different when it comes to their different seasons. Let's face it, life is always going to throw something at you. It always has, it always will. And you know how you yourself can be when things go crazy in life or when things are going sideways or when there's a lot of chaos. When you're stressed, you might be a little crabby. When you're going through hardships or a loss, you might just withdraw and just don't talk to anybody. I had to learn this the hard way. I would jump in relationships so quickly to the point to where I didn't even realize how these people were when they deal with things in their own life. Some people had super toxic behavior, and that's something that you really have to pay attention to because
marriage is becoming an unpleasant experience, particularly for women who do not want to be chained by conventional norms. To be honest, though, it goes beyond simply defying convention. The issue is the incessant onslaught of media narratives that only serve to stoke conflict and give the impression that relationships are more like battlefields than alliances. Why wouldn't males use caution? Fairness in divorce is as elusive as a unicorn, and the legal system may be a minefield. It is antiquated, unfair, and plain terrifying to think that you are giving your future over to a judge who could or might not agree with you. Men are tired of the true mistrust and anger. Why should they take a chance with their money and emotional well-being when they are well aware of the chances against them? It makes sense why marriage rates are so low. The state of the economy is also not helping. As they go up the economic ladder, women now demand spouses who can either match or surpass their income. This change together with the agony of seeing their parents go through divorce, has made males wonder, why bother? Simply put, the risk-to-reward ratio is no longer rational. Is it any wonder, then, that more and more men are choosing not to play the marriage game?
Who are the primary victims of war?
I'll say women.
Why?
Okay.
How?
I mean, I guess the outcomes of going to war, like what happens with women and like cities that are invaded.
So let's assume military deaths are like nearly exclusively male. Like 99.99% male.
if
all
you're cutting
war.
out civilian casualties to prove this point,
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Then
but
men.
he can, especially since you're specifically looking at the United States. So, for instance, of the 292,000 members of the U.S. military who were killed by enemy fire, 16 of them total were female. 16.
of the
From the
United States, yeah.
Total. 16 from the United States for all of World War II. All of it.
I'm dating the nicest guy. That's great. No, he's like way too nice. Okay, then break up with him then? And what, go date some toxic douchebag? Wait, so do you think there are only super nice guys and then toxic douchebags? I mean, that's been my experience. I think you've got that wrong. It sounds like you have a very black and white view of how men treat you. What do you mean? I mean, you probably consider yourself a boss babe who don't need no man. Hell yes. So you think any man who doesn't cave to your every need is an asshole? That's right. But you're also a woman, so you're repulsed by a feminine man who allows you to control him. Yeah, So what society's telling you to do is in direct conflict with what biology is telling you to do. And instead of addressing these guys for who they really are, you're just allowing selfish emotional reactions to bring you to extreme conclusions about them. Most men aren't toxic douchebags or super nice guys. But if those are the only two types of guys you've dated, that sounds like a you problem, not a man problem.
This concludes our A4 anonymous coverage for the day. Click that like button, please. Make sure you hit that notification bell in addition to subscribing. Leave a comment telling us what you think. Have a great day tomorrow.